Hi everyone, it is alenajingle, and today I am back with video number 3 in the new series I've been doing of less popular alternatives to the top 100 girl names of the year 2014 in the US. And for this video, I'm hoping to talk about names 90 through 86. At number 90 in the year 2014 was the name Ruby. This is an English name that comes from the Latin rubere, which means red, and of course in English it refers to the gemstone. Ruby is actually the gemstone for July, so it is my birthstone. And there is an actress named Ruby Rose who has become really popular from the show Orange is the New Black. There is a late actress named Ruby Dee. And there is a children's book series called Max and Ruby. I first heard this name, I think, on an Even Stevens character. I think Ruby was the name of the main female character's best friend, if I remember right. I also associate this with the restaurant Ruby Tuesdays. Actor Tobey Maguire and singer Charlotte Church both have daughters named Ruby. I definitely think this is one of those names that people don't know how popular it is. It always surprises me when I see it in the top 100 girl names, but it totally owns its spot. Names that are old-fashioned and just red girl names, when you look at Scarlett being popular, are gaining popularity right now, and I think that this name is so precious. This was in the top 100 girl names through the year 1945 and just re-entered the top 100 girl names in 2013 and has always been within the top 500 girl names in the US. My first Ruby alternative I have is Opal. Opal is an English name referring to the gemstone, and it comes from the Latin word opalus, which means to see a change in color. I think that is so cool, and of course very fitting for the opal gemstone. I have a lovely friend whose middle name is Opal, and she gave the middle name Opal to her second daughter, and I think that is wonderful. They both fit that name really well. I also associate this name with the book and movie because of Winn-Dixie, where the main character's middle name is Opal and she goes by her middle name. She is played by the actress Anna Sophia Robb in the movie version of that, and she really fits the name very well to me. This was in the top 1,000 girl names through 1960, but has not been since then, sadly, and I think that someone who likes Ruby might like Opal because they're both two-syllable gemstone names that are just 4 letters long. My next Ruby alternative I have is one of my all-time favorite girl names, and that is Ruth. Ruth is an English form of the Hebrew name Ruti, which means friend or companion. I love that meaning so much. Ruth, of course, is a name of a prominent Old Testament biblical figure. It's one of the 2 books in the Bible that has a girl's name as the title, Ruth and Esther. Ruth was the name of my husband's late grandma, and that worked really well to use as a middle name for my oldest daughter, Brenna Ruth, especially because Ruth was my very first favorite name when I was very little, probably about 6 or 7 years old. I associate this name with Babe Ruth, the baseball player. There is an actress named Ruth Wilson that I associate this name with as well. This was in the top 100 girl names through 1961 and has always been within the top 400 girl names in the US, and in 2014 was ranked at 315. I think that someone who likes the name Ruby might like the name Ruth, since they're both very old-fashioned names that are 4 letters long and start with RU. And my last Ruby alternative I have is Pearl. Pearl is an English name that of course refers to the bead you find in an oyster and is also the name of a color. Pearl is a very special name to me because my great-grandma, who passed away last year at the age of 99, her middle name was Pearl, and I have a cousin whose middle name is Pearl after her, so wonderful association with those people for me. This is actually the gemstone for the month of June. I also associate this with the band Pearl Jam and the book The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne because the main character names her daughter Pearl. Actress Maya Rudolph and celebrity Jack Osbourne both have daughters named Pearl. This was in the top 1,000 girl names through 1986 and just re-entered in the year 2007 and is currently ranked at 628 in the top 1,000 girl names. I think that someone who likes Ruby might like Pearl because they're both very old-fashioned gemstone names. At number 89 in the year 2014 was the name Madeline or Madeline. This is a French form of the name Magdalene, which means tower. I have always thought this name was absolutely beautiful. I know some people aren't crazy about this name because the pronunciation can be confusing because there are a few different ways to pronounce it, and also it starts with the sound mad. I have always loved the books and movies and show Madeline about the little French girl in the boarding school, so that's always been a positive association for me. And I actually know someone who named their twins Abram and Madeline. I think they're 2 years old, so they're really, really precious. There is a popular actress named Madeline Zima, another actress named Madeline Carroll, and then the late actress Madeline Khan from the movie Khloe. There's also a young German singer named Madeline Juno. I think that combination is super, super cool. I am seeing this name used more and more often as a middle name as well. This name has always been in the top 1,000 girl names in the US and has been in the top 100 girl names since 1994, so it is going to start sounding dated very soon. My first Madeline alternative I have is Madeline. This is a Dutch name that means daisy. Super, super cute meaning. There is a Dutch actress named Madeline Whites. Otherwise, it is a very rare name, but is one that I see come up in the naming community online more often than in real life, and I think it totally needs to be discovered. And I think that someone who likes Madeline might like Madeline for the very similar sound and because they can both have Maddie as a nickname option. My next Madeline alternative I have is Adeline. Adeline is an English form of Odilia, which means father's fortune. I really love that meaning for a baby girl. There is a children's book series by author Chris Riddell about a little girl named Adeline. I think the first one is called Adeline and the Cat Baby, but I think that would be a really cute bedroom theme for a little daughter. And actress Sienna Miller has a daughter named Marlo Adeline. I think this name is so stunning, and I could totally use it if my husband liked it more, and it totally needs to be used more in the US. It's never been in the top 1,000 girl names over here, and I think that someone who likes Madeline might like Adeline if you heard the very similar sound. And my last Madeline alternative I have is Aveline. Aveline is a French form of the name Avelina, which means desired. So I think this name is stunning. The problem potentially with it is that it has so many different ways to pronounce it. You can go with Aveline, 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 Evelyn, Aveline. It can be confusing, but it is a stunning name, and I love seeing it pop up in naming communities. This is the name of a character from the Assassin's Creed video game. Aveline de Grand Pré is their name. Otherwise, it is very, very rare. This is also the French word for hazelnut, which I think is super, super adorable. And I think that someone who likes Madeline might like Aveline for that very similar sound. At number 88 in the year 2014 for girls was the name Khloe with this spelling, which is just a variant, quote unquote, of Khloe spelled C-H-L-O-E. So Khloe with the C spelling is a ton more popular than Khloe with the K spelling. When you put them together, this makes a very, very popular name for girls in 2014. Khloe means green shoot, referring to shoots coming out of the ground in the spring, so that's a very beautiful picture. I have known several little girls named Khloe with this spelling. Unfortunately, the main association everybody's going to have with it is Khloe Kardashian. Some people are a fan of her. I'm not huge on the Kardashian craze, so I definitely would prefer the C spelling myself because it doesn't have that association. This name first entered the top 1,000 girl names in 2006 and was all the way up into the top 100 girl names in 2009, so it only took 3 years to rise that quickly. It is a very popular name. My first Khloe alternative I have is Clay. Clay is a Swedish form of the German word for clover, which is super, super adorable. And Paul Clay was a renowned Swedish artist, and there is a German pop band called Clay. One of my favorite things about this name is that there's actually a baby name book written by Wilfred J. McConkie that is called Clay as in Clay. The first Clay being spelled like this name, the second Clay being spelled C-L-A-Y. I think this name is totally a name that needs to be discovered and would be good for a boy or a girl in this case. And I think that someone who likes Khloe might like Clay because they look a lot alike and they both start with that KL sound. My next Khloe alternative I have is Kai. Kai is a Hawaiian name that means the sea, and Kai, because of it being such a simple short name, it has tons of origins for boys and girls, so it is a genuine unisex name, which means it's always been used for boys and girls. There is a singer named Kai Altair, and Donald Trump has a granddaughter named Kai Madison Trump. I actually had a doll. There was this series of dolls that was advertised in the American Girl Dolls magazines a long time ago that featured these 4 beautiful dolls from different countries and books about them, and one of them I do own, and her name is Kai, and she's from Africa, I think maybe from Nigeria. I would have to reread the books to figure that out again. And so I have this beautiful doll that is named Kai as well. This is currently more popular for boys, but it is in the top 1,000 girl names right now at 1,000, and first entered the top 1,000 girl names in 2010. And I think that somebody who likes Khloe might like Kai because they're both very short K names for girls. And my last Khloe alternative I have is Kiri. Kiri is a Maori name that means tree bark. I first heard this name in, I think, the year 2001 because my younger sister had a girl named Kiri in her grade, and so she's definitely how I picture a Kiri. There is a New Zealand opera singer named Kiri Te Kanawa, and there is a Mortal Kombat character named Kiri. There's also a young figure skater from the US named Kiri Baga. I think Kiri is so darling, and I would love to see it used more, and I think that something like Khloe might like Kiri because they're both two-syllable key names that end in that E sound. At number 87 in the year 2014 was the name Ashley. Ashley is an English name that means ash tree meadow. A lot of people will associate this name with the Olsen twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. Actress Ashley Benson from Pretty Little Liars. There's an actress named Ashley Tisdale from High School Musical. Ashley Simpson, the sister of Jessica Simpson. Actress Ashley Greene, who played Alice in the Twilight movies. And then actress Ashley Judd, who's one of my favorite actresses. I have had tons of close friends named Ashley and have just met gajillions of Ashleys, and I actually included this in my boy series of less popular alternatives for the top 100 boy names as an alternative to Asher. This is definitely going to be extremely dated in 2016 despite its popularity, and I definitely think it would be fresher on a boy in 2016. This was actually the #1 girl name in the years 1990 and 1991, was in the top 10 girl names from 1983 through 2005, been in the top 100 since 1978, and first entered the top 1,000 girl names in 1964. My first Ashley alternative I have is ash. This is an English name referring to the color or the tree, or of course the powdery substance ash. The protagonist from the novel Ash, A Secret History, a fantasy novel by Mary Gentle, is of course named Ash, and this is a name that I genuinely love equally on a boy or a girl, which that is very rare for me. I've always really loved the sound of this name. I think it's super adorable and totally needs to be used more. And I think that someone likes Ashley might like Ash because of course they have a very similar sound and can both be used on boys and girls. My next alternative I have for Ashley is Asha or Asha. This is a Sanskrit name meaning hope. I absolutely adore that meaning. There's an Indian TV actress named Asha Negi, a Bollywood actress named Asha Parekh, and an Indian singer named Asha Puthli. There's also a Game of Thrones character called Asha Greyjoy. I think this name is just absolutely beautiful. It was only in the top 1,000 girl names from 1989 through 2003 and is not right now. And I think that someone who likes Ashley might like Asha for that similar sound. And my last Ashley alternative I have is Ashlyn or Ashleen. This is a Gaelic name meaning vision or dream, really cool meaning. This is typically anglicized as Ashlyn, spelled A-S-H-L-Y-N in the US. I really prefer that original spelling I have on the screen, or the Scottish A-I-S-L-I-N-N. There's an Irish actress slash comedian named Ashlyn or Ashleen B, and an actress named Ashlyn Loftus who is in the new War and Peace miniseries. This is also the name of a poetic Irish genre, and I think that someone who likes Ashley might like Ashleen because of that very similar sound. And my last name for this video at number 86 in the year 2014 was the name Julia. This is a feminine form of the name Julius, which means youthful. There are several celebrities with this name, such as actress Julia Stiles, actress Julia Roberts, actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and actress Julia Ormond. There is also a Beatles song called Julia, and a character from Shakespeare's Two Gentlemen of Verona called Julia. This is a biblical name, and the name of a celebrity chef, Julia Childs. This has been in the top 100 girl names since 1980 and has always been in the top 150 girl names. I think this name is stunning, but I do think it's starting to feel dated and would be a lot fresher in 2016 as a middle name. My first Julia alternative I have is Junia. Junia is a Latin name that means youthful. It comes from the same roots as Julia. This is a name that's briefly mentioned in the New Testament, and is a celebrity baby name because singer Zach Hansen has a daughter named Junia Rosa Ruth, which I think is so adorable. Otherwise, it is very uncommon in the US, but I have no clue why, because it is beautiful and very easy and accessible. And I think that someone who likes Julia might like Junia because they're only one letter different and are both biblical names. My next Julia alternative I have is Julianne. Julianne is a feminine form of Julian, which means youthful again. There are several famous actresses with this name: Julianne Hough, Julianne Moore, and Julianne Nicholson. Bruce Springsteen had a wife named Julianne Phillips, and there is a Canadian figure skater named Julianne Seguin. Julia Roberts actually played a Julianne in the movie My Best Friend's Wedding. I think this name is totally underrated and so adorable. This was ranked at 901 in 2014 and has been in the top 1,000 girl names since 1930, and I think that someone who likes Julia might like Julianne because of the similar look and sound and the same meaning. And my last name for this video is Jewel. Jewel is an English name that means precious possession. Wonderful meaning, of course. This name is very strongly associated with pop singer from the 90s Jewel and actress Jewel State. Jewel is also the name of one of the main characters, who is a bird from the movie Rio, and this has been in the top 1,000 girl names every year except through the years 1973 to 1976 and is currently ranked at 870 in the US. I think this name is just precious, and I think that someone who likes Juliet might like Jewel for that very similar sound. That is it for this video. Please let me know what your favorites of the alternatives I listed were and any others that you like for these names that I didn't mention, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!